I'm the fittest, strongest, happiest person I've ever been. At age 52, post-menopause, how is this even possible? Well, I'm going to let you in to my 5 secrets that are the most important things that have got me to this state. And if you focus on these things and change these things in your life, you too can have this happiness, this fitness, and this health, no matter what age you are. If at any point you like this video, don't forget to click like, click on that subscribe button if you're new, and leave me a comment. Happiness. You might think that that's just kind of a reaction that you have to the circumstances you're in. So, you know, if you've got the right circumstances, then you'll be happy, you'll react in a happy way. And if you're in the wrong circumstances, then you're not going to be happy. But I can tell you that it's a choice, and it's brought about through the choices that you make in life. Some of these choices can be about healing yourself. I've been all about healing. If you come here from my other channel, it's called Be Healing. I use tarot and things to help people to tap into their wisdom and to heal themselves emotionally. More relaxed, more loving and accepting of ourselves and of the world around us, so that we can move through it with more ease rather than reacting to it. Part of all that is making good choices in our lives as well, empowering ourselves. Very important, right? So you can make yourself happy by making better choices in your life. You're only going to start making better choices in your life for yourself once you start loving yourself and appreciating yourself properly. And part of that is accepting yourself too, knowing yourself and accepting yourself, and accepting that your choices are really important and you're allowed to make choices in your life. And your life is your own to do with what you want to do. You're not owing to anyone else. No one is born here to be a servant to everyone else. Your life is your own and you're important. So it's your life, your choice, your energy, your choice, your body, your choice, your time, your choice, your heart, your choice. Your energy is your own to do with what you want on this planet and to do with what you want in this life. What you don't want to do is get to the end of your life and have squandered that by doing things for other people and never getting to do the things that you want to do. So it's really important to get yourself to a place of like happiness within yourself, happiness about yourself first, and acceptance of yourself and knowing yourself before you can make good decisions for yourself. One thing that I have got to the point of is being really ruthless with the decisions that I make. So if I realize that something isn't good for me or someone isn't good for me, then I will cut it out of my life. I no longer think like I need to please that person or this thing or make it better or hold on, stick on in there and sort it out and fix it. I've given up on that. It's a waste of my life. I'm much better putting those energies into the things that I want to do, the places that I want to go, the goals that I want to set and all of that. And when you become ruthless in that, then you can make yourself really happy. Now, I've got to the point now in my life where I live on this tropical island that I absolutely love, and the community here is amazing too. Generally, people have made the choice to live here because they're making good choices for themselves and for their happiness. And so it is a pretty amazing community here. You'll have to visit sometime, with very few stresses in my life, and pretty much every day is my ideal day. I wouldn't be doing anything else. I am in a very happy state now. Very rare that I will react to things that are going on around me. There's very few things that will fire me up. You won't see me getting involved with stuff online, arguments and stuff like that. In fact, I very rarely even scroll online and with social media and stuff like that, because it's just not interesting and there's better things to do with my time. I'm very much a person that likes to kind of live in the real world rather than the online world, which is kind of weird because I work in the online world, right? But working in the online world means that I can be even more present in my own life because I can compartmentalize. Exercise is a big part. Of course, all of these go together, you know. Exercise is a big part of it too. Exercise helps us to focus on ourselves and what we're doing on our own game and improving our own game rather than being pushed around by everything outside of us. It's very hard not to be reactive to everyone else and everything that's going on in the world when we feel like we're out of control. And one way to gain control is by focusing on the things that we can control in our lives, and exercise in our body is part of that, right? So I'm not talking about being obsessive and controlling our diets and all of that kind of thing. being responsible for ourselves and taking good care of ourselves with exercise and with diet and all of that kind of thing, it gives you more control and it gives you a focus you are empowered about because you are in control of it, and that will stop you being so focused on the other stuff that you can't do anything about, because that is stressful, right? If there's a negative thing in your life and you can't do anything about it, it's really stressful. But the one thing that you can do about it is cut it out. Don't give any attention anymore. Then you need to find something better to give your attention to. So this is how we get from this I'm being pushed around by life and how can I be happy when the things going on around me don't make me happy? I'll tell you how. It's through doing all of these things, putting all of these things into place that I've talked about in my secrets. That will give you that focus, that gives you something that you can control, something that will make you feel better, do better, be better, and make you feel like on top of the world. I can tell you, I have never felt better than I do right now. And it's one reason that I am really interested in longevity, because my life, I can be quite honest, at age 52, until about age 47, my life was shit. It was really hard. I was abused. There was so much crap in my life. And it's only now that my life is starting to get really good. So of course I'm going to be into longevity now because, I've got my best days ahead of me. And I feel better. I'm fitter. I'm stronger. I feel better inside of myself than I ever did. I feel calm and empowered about myself. I know who I am. I'm happy with myself. I'm happy with the decisions that I make in my life. And it's all good now. And I want this to last as long as possible because I know there's a hell of a lot more ahead for me. And I hope that I inspire you to realize that there's a hell of a lot ahead for you as well. You're never too old to do these things. You're never too old to do all of this stuff right now. I can tell you, even 5 years ago, I wasn't in this state that I'm in now. I've built that up. And a lot of it, like, I've put muscle on and built up some more strength, particularly just in the last few months, so post-menopause. So it's never too late to start all of this stuff and to get focused on things that are really good for you. Kind of bring in your focus to being about yourself, your well-being, and it will absolutely change your world if you do this. And if I can inspire you to do that, then I'll be very, very, very happy woman. One of my secrets that I don't think you're going to find is a surprise at all is exercise. In fact, I think it is the most important of all of these. Of course, it goes along. I think each of these secrets, they impact each other, especially recovery is a big part of exercise too. I'll go into that. And also diet as well. They go alongside it, right? But if there were to be number one on my list, it's going to be exercise. Now, exercise is many different things. And I think when we think about exercise, you might think about strength training, or you might think about cardio, like going for a run or something like that. But there's way more to exercise. There's movements that we can do with our body that exercises our body in many different ways, for different reasons, and we get different things out of our bodies. And I know there's a lot of reductionist thinking, predominantly coming from America at the moment, like do this, not that, only do cardio, don't do weights, like only do strength training, don't do cardio. But all of the aspects of exercise training are important, not just one of them. And so the different aspects that we have of exercise, we've got strength training, so that's resistance training, whether you're using your body weight, which can be a heavy thing for in certain movements, right? If you think about it, doing a pull-up, your body is pretty heavy then, so that's kind of enough weight for a lot of people. But some other movements like lifting your arm up, that's not enough, right? So you want to put a heavy weight in that. So any kind of resistance training, whether that's body weight or not, that is a thing. That's going to build your muscle, and it's going to provide you with a good body composition by doing that, right? It's going to build strength in your muscles too, meaning that you can do more, lift lift more, you know, be able to function in the world better with whatever it is that you're presented with in your life. Then we've got cardio. So cardio, again, can be split up. We've got steady state cardio, so there's like going for a walk or going for a jog or riding your bike, all of that kind of thing. It's important. It's important. It will burn through a lot of calories doing that as well. Probably one of the best ways to burn through calories too. If you want to increase the amount that you're eating, do steady state cardio. That will get through it. It's important to build up your cardiovascular system as well. So that kind of stuff is going to be exercising your heart, getting your heart into healthy ranges. So when you first start exercising, if you're a couch potato and you first start exercising, your heart rate's going to go pretty high just doing a walk or a jog or something. But the more often you do it, the more your heart will get used to it. It'll get more efficient. You'll have more blood vessels going. You'll actually start building more blood vessels to your muscles as well. And you're building that strong cardiovascular system with your steady state exercise. Then you've also got your high intensity training like sprints or doing like interval training and all of that, where you're really pushing it. You're pushing your heart into zone 2, zone 1. High intensity is really good too to get yourself there. Now, if you're new to exercising, you might not want to do that, but the more your cardiovascular system gets built up with that steady state stuff, the more you're going to be able to do that high intensity stuff. The steady state stuff might feel like high intensity, and it might be high intensity to you when you first start exercising. It just depends where you are, right? But it's a very important thing to do. So don't believe anyone that tells you that it's not important to do cardio. It is. It burns through calories, which is important to keep yourself at a healthy like body fat percentage and all of that. Being obese or overweight is not good for you at all. You know, it can cause a lot of the health problems, you know, all-cause mortality kind of stuff. So it is important, and who doesn't want to eat more anyway? And anyway, it's fun. Find one that's fun for you and do it. And there's no more important muscle than your heart as well. And cardio is what exercises your heart, and not just your heart, but your whole cardiovascular system. So if you don't want to have strokes and heart attacks and all of that kind of thing, cardio is important. You've got endurance. It's kind of a part of cardio as well. It's like, how long can you keep on going? Endurance isn't just about cardio though, it can be about strength too. This is where women shine. We're great at endurance, just naturally we're better than men at that. So you see, like in the really long distance runs and stuff like that, women actually beat men in that. We're actually faster than them in it, and that's because we're great at endurance. So give us some weights. The women will be able to keep on going with those weights for longer. Sure, the men may be able to pick up heavier weights, but they don't have that same strength endurance. So you might find yourself with your strength training as a woman wanting to, you know, resonating more and feeling better in those kind of workouts when you're doing a lot of repetitions, and we'll go with that. That's cool to do that. You might, if you're getting into the point where it's kind of you're lifting weight up like 30 times, 40 times, that's probably a little bit too much. That's when you'll want to up that weight and go heavy. So when we're talking about strength training, yeah, endurance might come more naturally to you as a woman, and that's a good thing. You can go to those ranges, but I would say when you're in about 20-25 rep range, you might be thinking about upping the weight then. A lot of people will say, oh, don't worry women, you're not going to put muscle on. We tend to put, I just heard up to about 24 kilograms of muscle is kind of normal ranges for a woman. I'm at about 23.5 kilograms, and it does get a little bit harder for women to put that on because testosterone is a big part of putting that muscle on. But yeah, if you keep on doing that work, you will keep on putting that muscle on. Power is another thing as well. So power, it's kind of the force and speed. We've got different muscle types, fast twitch and slow twitch. You got to be thinking about that too, because you want to be doing things that incorporate those fast twitch muscle fibers. They're the ones that get you those explosive movements, thinking about jumping up in the air or punching somebody or a bag. or some pads, you know, that kind of movement, that is very different than like picking up a weight. Unless you pick up a weight fast, then you can incorporate those. Now, as you're aging, those fast twitch muscle fibers, they start decreasing more than the slow twitch muscle fibers. So you might want to incorporate that faster, more explosive kind of movement in there, or focus on it just sometimes. We've also got mobility as well. That is your range of motion, how you can move your joints. Mobility, that involves a bit of flexibility too, flexibility and stretching, but that's another part of exercise too. So your yoga and stuff like that. Mobility, stretching can be combined, but mobility things, you know, there'll be movements like, say for your shoulder, your shoulder can move in many different ways. It can move up forward like that, the table's in the way, and outwards like that. It can go up like that, and it can also go backwards like this. And each of those movements is very important to have a wide range of motion that way. Knee, even more important. How many times have we been told over the years not to move our knees past our toes? Well, why? Does that make any sense? Not to have to limit our range of motion? No, it doesn't make any sense. So don't listen to that anymore. Your knees should be going past your toes for full range of motion. The more range of motion that we've got, the better. The more we'll be able to do things into our old age. So keep that mobility, that flexibility. That flexibility goes in hand with the strength work as well. You'll find the stronger you get, then the more flexible you get as well, because when you've got a solid structure, it can be flexible. If you can hold yourself together, then your muscles can, they don't need to hold it up for you. I don't know whether I've explained that very well, but there you go. So yeah, the stretch involved in that too. And then balance is very important, and that goes hand in hand with the strength, but the mobility, that structural integrity, and it's very important too, especially balance. You don't want to be falling over when you get older and damaging yourself. You don't want to be falling over and breaking your hip and all of that kind of thing. You don't want to be frail, right? You want to be strong, but have that balance component too. People can be strong and have like no balance, not be able to stand on one leg and do all of those things. Now, all of these aspects of exercise are really important. Just find a way to do exercise that perhaps incorporates all of those things, but find something that you like to do, because I love exercise, I really do. And I don't love everything about exercise. There's certain things that I really love doing. Two of my favorites, Muay Thai. Now, Muay Thai, it incorporates a bit of strength, yes, like we'll do some push-ups and stuff like that while we're doing the training. A lot of cardio, both steady state and high intensity too, when we're doing the pad works. It's like an interval each time we do that. You know, you find that boxers, kickboxers, Muay Thai, we've got very strong cardio systems, because those 3-minute rounds to 5-minute rounds, we're going all out, and so it's like extended high intensity. It really gets you fit and strong. Also with that, there is crossovers, so you're kicking and you're punching. It's like one side to another. Crossovers, you get a very strong core and you get a lot of stability through it as well, so a lot of bodily control with the crossover movements. That's one that I really love and enjoy. You might want to try it out. I fully recommend you trying it out, because it is so much fun. You'll get through a 90-minute workout, really intense workout. You'll have burned 500 calories and you'll be laughing and find it so much fun, hopefully, that you won't even notice that you've done it. Well, you will notice that you've done it because it's hard work, but it's so much fun. The other thing that I love doing is CrossFit. Now, I started CrossFit just a few months ago. I'd already kind of been CrossFitting myself. Before I started CrossFit, I would swim, I run, I walk, I do Muay Thai training, I cycle everywhere. My only means of transport here on this island is my bicycle, and so I'm doing that all the time. I would lift weights. I would do like YouTube programs, Carolyn Gervin, weight training programs. So I'll see all my weights back there, turn this into a little gym, put those things on, and I was doing that each day as well, usually doubling up, because I'm a bit, crazy like that when it comes to exercise. I just love it. So I was doing all of that. I was kind of doing the full gambit before, but when I found CrossFit, it makes it even more fun because you've got your friends there and you're doing it with them. There's the strength training aspect of it, and then the cardio, and it incorporates all of these different aspects of training of exercise, the strength training, the cardio, steady state, the high intensity, endurance, power, mobility, stretch, balance, all of it. It's the only thing that I know, CrossFit, that incorporates all of those. So you might want to get into CrossFit as well if I inspire you to do that. Then if I inspire you to do either of Muay Thai or CrossFit, I'll be a happy woman. If I inspire you to exercise in the slightest, then I will be a happy woman too. Because it's amazing and it gives you so many incredible benefits to your body. So get exercising. Another one of my secrets is recovery. You can't exercise to the extent that I exercise without getting really good at recovery, because you'll injure yourself. And I can only exercise to the extent that I do, which is usually 2 workouts a day, and they're not light workouts either, because I've got really good at recovery now. So I just want to talk about recovery a little bit, because it's really important that you prioritize that. And I think every athlete knows this, but every non-athlete, all of you out there, you should know it too. Because you need to take care of your bodies, right? And it's part of taking care of your body is knowing about recovery and how to recover properly from what you're getting your body to do. So I'm just going to go into that. Number one, most important for recovery is sleep. Now, I don't know how much sleep that you need, but I know how much sleep I need. And to optimize that, I have had to put a few things in place. When I'm working out a lot, ideally, I need 8 to 9 hours of sleep a night. I feel the best when I get about 9 hours sleep a night. I can't always get that though, but ideally I get that at least once a week and as many times as I can. Now, in order to get that amount of sleep so that my body can repair itself, I have to eat right, and I have to wind down correctly in the evening for me, right? And part of that wind down that I do is before the sun goes down, I'm eating my last meal of the day. I like a big meal at the end of the day, and so I'll eat that meal. I'll also take some supplements then. Supplements that I take at that time are magnesium biglycinate, and so that can have a relaxing effect. We tend to all be a little bit depleted in magnesium these days, so it's good to take that in, and it does aid in sleep as well. So I'll take that. Sometimes I take tart cherry juice extract as well, because I thought I'd try that out. I think it does have a beneficial effect on sleep, so sometimes I'll take that. I take my menopause supplement too, which I don't take all the time, but I'm back on it again and have been for about the last week now, just because I started getting a few hot flashes again. So I take that. It's got black cohosh in it. That's the Swiss formula that I use for that. I found that was the best one to take away those menopause symptoms. The only one that really bothers me is the night sweats. I can handle hot flashes in the daytime, but when it wakes me up at night, that's not good because I can't get my recovery right. So I'll have that around my meal time too. Sometimes passion flower extract as well. Generally because I thought I would try that out to kind of relax me. It does relax me, and when I ordered it, they sent me extra. They sent me like more than I'd ordered, so I've still got a lot of that going around, so I'm just kind of trying to use it up before the expiration date. But anything like that that is good for you to take to relax you is a good idea. Now, so I've had those with my evening meal. The sun is going down, I'm winding things up, I'm closing the curtains, I've got my PJs on already, I've already had my shower after I did my workout, and I'm ready. I'm winding down now. I maybe watch a movie or something like that, but it's generally before the sun goes down. As soon as it gets to dusk, I don't want any lights or any screens on. Now, sometimes I might listen to things on my phone after that, but I like to get to bed really early because I'm a morning person, and I will wake up without any alarm at about 5:30 each morning, and I like doing that. I'm at my top form in the morning, and so that suits me best. So really, I'm going to bed super early, usually about 8 o'clock. And so that time from when the sun goes down, the curtains are closed, I don't have the lights on, I'll have a little bedside lamp on, which is like an orangey kind of a light, so not blue light. As I said, sometimes I will listen to things on my phone during that time too, but I'm generally winding down and trying to go to sleep really early, and that's what gets me that really long sleep in. So important. Your sleep is so important. Don't think about the other things about recovery until you've got that dialed in, and do whatever it is that you can. There's a lot of information out there now about sleep, you know, so check that out on YouTube and do all of those things that you can to get your sleep patterns that will suit you, because not everyone's going to be like me, such an early bird like that, but to get that sleep in is so important. I really feel the difference. Like if I have done a lot of workouts and, you know, I've got some aches going on, if I only have 6 or 7 hours sleep, I've still got those aches in the morning. But if I have had the full 9 hours sleep, I don't have those aches and I'm raring to go again. We've got heart rate variability as well, which is the timing between your heartbeats and how that varies. So the more recovered you are, the higher your heart rate variability will be. Mine is at about, usually between 30, like after a workout, after I've really stressed myself out in whatever kind of way, it'll get down to about 30, and then a couple of hours later it gets back to about 60 or 70. Overnight it'll be 100, 200. It gets really high. So my recovery game is pretty good with that. But heart rate variability, if you do have an Apple Watch or something like that, that can give you an idea of how well you're recovering. Heart rate too is an important way of seeing where you recover, how you're recovering. So your resting heart rate can be quite important. So athletes tend to have a much lower resting heart rate. Mine's about 45 beats per minute, my resting heart rate, which is really good. And that can go down to like 38, 39, which my watch tells me about in the morning, like it's a dangerous thing. But yeah, the healthier your cardiovascular system and your recovery in particular, then the lower your resting heart rate will be. And if you're not recovering properly, your resting heart rate will go up. So I didn't recover properly last night. I've still got a few aches now because of it. I had about 6.5 hours sleep because it was full moon and I couldn't sleep properly. And so I've still got a few aches from the stuff that I did yesterday. I'm taking it easier today because of that. So my recovery is going into today too. And my resting heart rate went up to about 55 from 45. So as to be expected, right? Part of recovery is also stretching, and that can include like foam rolling, that kind of stuff. And massage, massage and stretching, all that kind of thing. Sometimes I'll do that in the evening too. That can be part of my after the sun's gone down stuff. I've got a percussion. I'll show you. I've got this Theragun, which I'll use to massage out like my shoulders, any sore spots on my arms, my legs, my glutes, all of that kind of thing. That can help me to relax. My body responds really well to that vibrating kind of massage. It allows my muscles. It's like it taps on my muscles and goes, hey, relax now. You can just let it go, and it does. It might work for you, maybe not. This is also from Theragun as well, and this can lie on this and roll it up and down my spine. So I get a bit of tension at the top of my shoulders there. It's nice to do that. If you can't afford one of these, you don't have one of these, you can just get 2 tennis balls and get some duct tape and wrap it around the tennis balls and use that, roll up and down on that. I've been using that for years before I bought this, and I still use that, the 2 tennis ball gaffer tape together as well too. I also use for recovery LED as well. So I have a face unit thing which is very powerful that I go under for my skin and all of that. But the near infrared and the infrared that this gives out, I can strap it onto my body. So say if my elbow is aching a little bit and needs a little bit more recovery, I'll maybe put this on for 10 or 15 minutes a couple of times a day, or on my knee. This one's particularly good for like aches and pains of joints and things like that, and it's got this Velcro that wrap around it, and you can just kind of plug it in and go about doing whatever else I was doing. So that's good for recovery too. I like to use that. I'll go for a massage with someone else massaging me, usually once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks. I will tend to go for, I know this is quite indulgent and you might not all want to do this, but I do, because it keeps me being able to continue functioning at the level that I am, a 2-hour massage every week, and sometimes it turns into a 3-hour massage. If there's one particular person massaging me, she's so good, she zeroes into all like the problem areas, and when it's coming up to the 2 hours and I think I need more, I need her to keep going because she's only done one half of me still, then it'll turn into a 3-hour massage. Very indulgent, I know, but recovery, it's very important to me. So massage is important. Diet is part of recovery, because you need to give your body the things that it needs to repair itself. It can't recover. What you're doing when you're exercising, right? You're causing damage to the muscles. You're stressing it out. Now, if you're not putting in here the things that your body needs, the nutrients that your body needs in order to repair it, because your body can fix itself, your body can heal itself, and it's going to do it, but it can't do it without the right raw materials, right? And so protein, big one. You need enough protein. If you don't eat enough protein, it doesn't matter how much sleep you get, your body can't repair itself and you can't recover. When I realized this, I was eating so little protein, I can't believe it. I used to train Muay Thai twice a day and I wasn't eating enough protein. I probably would have been, looking back, I probably would have been on about 60 or 70 grams of protein a day. Nowhere near enough for training at high intensity twice a day like that. When I learned this and realized, and I started eating a lot more protein, I'm up to about 140 to 160 grams of protein now. It makes a huge difference. If I've had a particularly heavy day of exercise, I will have an extra protein shake before bed, right before bed, so that my body's got what it needs to repair itself while I'm sleeping, because that's where the majority of the recovery work is going to happen. Nutrients also include your minerals are very important for that too. So if you don't have enough magnesium, then definitely get that into you. Electrolytes as well are important for recovery too, so you need to be making sure that you're getting enough electrolytes. Now that's going to be dependent on your situation, right? Because I live in the tropics and I'm exercising outside or indoors, but it isn't in the air conditioning generally, and so there's a lot of sweat involved. I sweat a lot when I'm training, so I will put electrolytes into all of my workout water that I'm drinking. It's important that it has that in, otherwise I'm going to run into trouble. I'm going to lose my energy, wonder what's going on, why do I feel so weak, that kind of thing. But it's also for recovery too. Our bodies have got this electrochemical balance, and it's based on salt within the body, those minerals within the body. Our bodies can't function without it, and so don't believe the hype about like low salt diets. Unless you're eating a load of junk food, you're probably getting, if you're eating a load of junk food, you'll be getting a lot of salts in. But if you're not, if you're eating like because people say that, right? They're like, oh, but there's salt in everything. It's like, wait, there's not salt in a chicken breast, there's not salt in a carrot, there's not salt in an apple. That's the stuff that I'm eating. There might be salt in everything if you're eating processed foods, and if you are, then you're probably getting plenty. If you're not, then you need to be adding it in. But as I said, it just depends on your activity levels and on how much you're sweating as well, how much of those salts that you're sweating out. Your other vitamins, minerals and all of that, of course, important too. So get your veggies and your fiber and all of that kind of stuff. Relaxation is important, of course, for recovery as well. So you got to be making sure that when you are feeling like you need to relax and you aren't recovered, that you do relax, that you do take time out as well. So it's not just about exercise, it's about that recovery too, and being in tune with your body and listening to your body. So important. Not pushing it too hard, which I can push my body too hard sometimes. It's more difficult for me to take a rest day than it is to get out there exercising, because I love it so much. But when I'm feeling to like not do it, when I'm not recovered, I don't want to injure myself, and so I will take that rest and relaxation that I need. Last thing about recovery is breathing. Breathing, it's well, of course, it's important. We need to do it all the time, but you can use it for your recovery as well, and to get yourself in a more relaxed state so that your body can recover better. You can use box breathing, which is like breathing in to a count of 5 or 6 seconds, holding it 5 or 6 seconds, breathing out 5 or 6 seconds, holding it 5 or 6 seconds. That's box breathing. So doing it all at the same time, you might be able to, you can get apps for this. You might only be able to do it like for 4 seconds or something like that, and you might build up to more. You will find when you start doing that, the more you exercise, the more your cardiovascular system is strong, then your heart rate will be down, and you'll be able to do that box breathing for long. So it's like about 8 seconds is my cycle now, but if I'm not recovered, it's much shorter than that. And so it can not only help you to recover, but it can give you an idea of how recovered you are as well, that kind of thing. Now, if you find that you're a bit stressed out and you need to relax, then you can lengthen the out breaths. Make the in breaths shorter and lengthen the out breaths. That's going to take you into that parasympathetic mode as well, which will aid in recovery. Or if you're a little bit too parasympathetic, if you're like feeling a little bit lazy, you can do it the other way around and hype yourself up by making your out breaths fast and your in breaths longer as well. And so it's an aid to recovery. So recovery, extremely important. Exercise and recovery, both together, both affected by diet too. So all of these things are kind of help each other. My next secret is diet. Not much of a secret really, because it's really important what we put into our bodies, right? The food and the drink that we consume. My diet doesn't have a name to it, which I think is a good thing, because we've got a lot of extremism going on with diets at the moment, you know, only eat meat or only eat vegetables. And to me, the answer is always balance. Now, when I say balance, I don't mean balance like a little bit of everything, like eat a little bit of junk food, eat a little bit of poison. I'm not talking about that, but a balanced diet with like major food groups. Yes, I think that's a good thing. So probably the best way to show you how I eat is to take you into my kitchen and show you what's in my fridge. So I'll do that just now. So in my fridge here, you'll see there's kimchi, there's cheese, bit of tofu there. We've got chocolate, of course, bit of like some dip thing that I make. I've got chicken already made up, pre-prepared, water, yogurt, fruits there for my snacks too. We've got my breakfast made up in there as well. Got broccoli and cauliflower and lettuce and pumpkin, veggies, all kinds of stuff for salad. We've got eggs, lime, which is also tasty, and some condiments here as well, some beauty stuff too. Soy milk, egg whites, got some salad dressing that I make up myself there too. And in other parts of my kitchen, got onions there, garlic, some spices, salt and pepper, protein powders, pasta, rice, granola, sweet treat. Got oils, more condiments there, a little bit of alcohol, which I don't have much. Oats, chia seeds, we've got seeds, nuts, bit of tin fish, Brazil nuts, spices, and yeah, so kind of stuff to throw on salads and, you know, things like that. So pretty much whole food. I do have like some processed food, but it tends to be like the less processed food, let's put it that way. I ain't making everything from scratch, you know. So that's what I generally eat. A lot of fruit and vegetables. I do eat meat, have a lot of chicken, a lot of fish. I probably eat fish like 5 times a week. We'll have like tuna salad or salmon salad. Didn't show you what was in my freezer. I've got frozen berries in my freezer and salmon. I've got some spice mixes in there as well, like pastes that I keep frozen. Get those out as I need them. What else is in my freezer? Ice, of course. And yeah, chicken. Often chicken is in there. I don't think it's in there at the moment. I need to buy some more. But that's generally what I eat. I tend to cook for myself. I eat very cleanly. I guess if there was a name to it, I would call it kind of clean eating. Quite simple. I do monitor my food. I mean, I register it. I use MyFitnessPal and I log all of my food, so I keep a track of it. Now, not so much to be calorie counting, although I kind of do use it for that too, but I find it intuitively, if I just kind of log all my food, I am generally eating kind of the same amount of calories each day. But mostly I log my food to make sure I'm getting enough protein, because I do want to make sure that my body's got the fuel that it needs, sure, for my workouts, but also what it needs to repair itself, most importantly. And so I like to get about 130 to 160 grams of protein a day, very important for the amount of exercise that I'm doing, so that my body can repair itself. Now, calories wise, I do count the calories. About 2,000 calories for me is maintenance. If I have 1,800 calories, then I'm losing. I'm actually doing that at the moment. Most days I'll be around 1,800 calories a day, because I'm planning on losing about 1 kilo of fat. I'm about 21% fat at the moment. I want to get down to about 19% fat, so that's what I'm doing at the moment, eating about 1,800, which is just a little bit less than 2,000. There's not that much in it really. It's like the difference between having a whole meal chicken wrap and just a plain wrap. That is 200 calories different, so it's not massively noticeable. So that's how I eat. I will eat the same thing for breakfast every morning. If you want that recipe, let me know. That is a superfood kind of chocolatey high protein overnight oats and berries thing that I make, have in jars, easy to grab out the fridge in the morning and just eat kind of on the fly. I will have maybe a snack in the morning, or sometimes I go through to lunchtime. My lunch tends to be a chicken wrap, because that's really tasty and really fast to grab, or maybe I'll have an omelette if I've got a little bit more time. The snack is either fruit or yogurt, and fruit or yogurt and protein powder. I've got a vanilla protein powder that I put half a scoop in, and it makes it into like this tasty dessert. It's really yummy. So I'll have that as a dessert. I need to make sure that I'm fueled up enough anyway for my afternoon workout, which will be kind of mid-afternoon. When I get back from that, I'll eat a big meal. Now that'll either be like pasta with broccoli and pumpkin and cauliflower all boiled up together, with perhaps pesto and cheese, mozzarella cheese and chicken or fish, or I'll have a big salad with fish in it, with salmon in the air fryer. And so it's pretty clean. I do eat to fuel my body, but I do enjoy my food, so I make sure that it's really tasty too. That's important to me, of course. Now, when it comes to drink, mostly I'm drinking water. I do have coffee every day, but the coffee that I drink is decaf. I drink caffeinated coffee every now and then. I don't want to be addicted to it anymore, and I don't want to go through the withdrawals again, because taking yourself off coffee is really hard. I want to be able to use it for that burst of energy when I need it. So I had a caffeinated coffee the other day when I was doing a lot of filming between two different gyms. So I'd done a full 90-minute workout in one gym, and then I went to another gym to do some filming in there, and I had a coffee when I arrived at that new gym, just because I was feeling like I needed that, like a bit of an extra energy to usual. But I only will have caffeine every now and then, because it hypes me up, like it gives me too much energy, so I don't want to be having that every day. What else do I drink? So mostly water. Alcohol sometimes, yes I do, but it's very rare now. I used to drink a lot. I used to use alcohol to calm like a generalized anxiety that I felt all the time, especially social anxiety. But I've got over that now. And so my alcohol drinking is probably maybe once a week or once every 2 weeks. Sometimes I will take 2 months, 3 months, 4 months off each year, drinking completely, just give my body a break. It does impact my sleep when I drink alcohol, but I do like drinking alcohol too. So when I'm going out with my friends, I will drink alcohol and I'll have a lot of fun, and I'll perhaps drink a little bit too much sometimes too. But bit of balance, I guess. I know it's poison. It's probably the worst part of my diet. It is the worst part of my diet for sure. It also is very high in calories too, so it kind of messes. I can get back after a drinking session, like within a couple of days, get myself back to that homeostasis kind of thing. Of course, sometimes I do eat over my calories, eat over 2,000 calories, and so I do put weight on sometimes if there's a special occasion. If I'm eating out, I don't restrict myself then. No, I'll have whatever it is that I want, but I don't have a sweet tooth. I have like the chocolate that I've got in now. I don't know if you noticed that in my fridge, it's the 85% lint, so that's not even that sweet. I don't have a lot of like processed sweet food, so my taste is more on the, you know, not so sweet kind of side. Fruits are plenty sweet enough for me, and in fact I don't even have those westernized bananas, you know, the long ones. We get the shorter ones here and not as sweet as those ones. Those westernized bananas, the long ones, to me they taste way too sweet. I don't like those at all. So I don't have that sweet tooth of cake and stuff like that, but I will have like a croissant or something like that occasionally, maybe once a month or something like that. I'm not craving those kind of things because I kind of weaned myself off all of that, and I was never a big one for that anyway. So very clean diet is to fuel me, but I do enjoy my food, and I think it's important to enjoy your food too. I don't stop myself from going out to eat with my friends or anything like that, and when I do, I will indulge. I'll have exactly what I want. You know, I'm not going to eat things that are going to hurt me, like pizza. It hurts me. I will have it occasionally because I kind of like the taste of it sometimes, but it sits like a rock in my stomach. My stomach can't digest it. Now, I'm not saying that mine is the right way to eat. It makes me feel great. I don't get any bloated, don't get bloated at all. My energy isn't even keel. I'll only use coffee if I'm like lagging in energy because I've done too much before I've had a chance to eat something else. But yeah, generally my energy is consistent all day. I'm outside bed in the morning feeling good, and energy consistent all day, and I work out in the morning and I work out in the late afternoon as well. Not too late. I don't work out too late in the afternoon because it can hype me up and cause sleep problems. It can be hard for me to get to sleep if I do any high intensity stuff, maybe after like 5 o'clock. Too much for me there. So that's how I eat. What I would say about your diet, you've got to find out what works for you, because we're all very different, right? We've all got different genes, different DNA, we've got different biocultures or whatever it is in our stomachs as well, microbiome. Depending on what it is that you're eating, your microbiome will change, and depending on exercising too, it'll change. So I have found the way that I'm eating does complement my exercise now. I've found that really good balance where I'm giving my body what it needs, and kind of, you know, getting blood work done as well with the hospital here on Koh Tao, and keeping a check on it all too. And so you need to find what works for you as well. I mean, I would recommend clean eating. It's kind of easy to do on this island because there's not that many like supermarkets where you can get any processed stuff. You can get processed stuff, of course you can, sweets and lollies and all that kind of thing, that's available, but I just kind of choose to go to the shops here that do have the fruits and vegetables. There's a lot of that. I think here it's possibly more easy to eat clean than other places, just because we don't have like those chains here. You know, I can't go out and get a McDonald's, but when I'm on the other island where there is a McDonald's, I probably will. I'll probably get one, yeah. But yeah, we don't have a lot of those temptations here, so it's kind of easier, but I choose to eat that way anyway. So find what's best for you. I would also want to say something about the science that's out there about food, because it is very confusing. You know, there'll be a report, oh, this is good for you, and then there's another report saying, no, it's bad for you. And you just need to know, if you look deeper into the science of it all, there's a lot of confounding factors. A lot of it is done on mice, and we're not mice. And the mice are in a sterile environment as well, with nothing else going on. So very different to the way that we live, you know, with our social interactions and all kinds of things. And also a lot of it is done just by asking people questions, so questionnaires about what you ate in the last year, which are not they're not consistent. People, I can't remember what I ate in the last year, like how many times I had red meat. I wouldn't be able to work that out, and I don't think anyone can. And so take all of that with a pinch of salt. The actual science that's done on human beings, you know, all the double blind stuff and all of that, there's so many confounding factors because we're very complicated beings that when you really look into that stuff, the conclusions that are taken from those results. If you look at what they actually did, it could mean that conclusion, yes, but it could have meant other conclusions too. And then when those conclusions are taken by the media and blown up into some like really salubrious kind of a shocking headline, we get the wrong end of the stick all the time. And so just be careful of taking on board what you hear. I would, try these things out for yourself, get tuned into your body, see what works best for you, and of course get your blood work done and all of that to keep a check on it all. So that's how I eat, and that's what I think about food and drink. Let me know what you think about food and drink below, and how you eat and how you resonate with that too. Very much about balance too, and balance is a part of happiness as well, is to live a balanced life, whatever that is for you. Like, I've had my own business now since the year 2000, and a lot of that was to give me the freedom to be able to take care of myself properly and do the things that I needed to do to take care of myself, because that can be a full-time job, right? Taking care of ourselves. You don't want to be working full-time too, but to have the kind of work where I can be creative and I'm inspired to do it, and I feel like I'm making a difference, and it's what fires me up, and I'm excited about it, and I feel creative within it. To be able to do that, but only to do it for a certain amount of time, so that the other things that are important in my life, like exercise, like recovery, like diet, like social interactions and being out in nature and all of that kind of stuff that's important to me, then I will do that too, so that it's not work and then everything else goes around that. It's more like it's a whole encompassing kind of thing, and my work's good for me too. Now, you can build up to this, and that's what I did too, making better and better decisions. We live things, we go through it, we realize, oh, I like this about it, I don't like that about it, and so then we make another decision. Well, I'll go for more of what I like, and we keep on doing that. And it's not this insatiable kind of, oh, it's not good enough, it needs to be better. It's not coming from a complaining place, it's coming from a reaching higher. I can do better for myself, I can be better, I can achieve more. And again, not from a negative place of like beating myself up, I'm not enough yet. No, it's from enjoying my life. What would I enjoy even more? What could it be even better than this? What could I enjoy even more than this? And I always talk about it being like a bandwidth. It's like we've got a bandwidth of happiness. And some people's bandwidths are right down there. They'll put up with all kinds of crap in their lives, and they don't have that many joys in their life. And some people's bandwidths are right up here. How do you get from there to here? Well, what you do is you try and allow even more into your life. And when you do that, when you allow even better, it can be hard to do that, because when it's outside of our bandwidth, it's going to feel really uncomfortable. Like it's too good to be true. Too happy, I need to sabotage it and get back to my base point, that kind of thing. So to raise it up, what you've got to do, the better thing to do is to let go of some of ththese lower things. It's like, what's the worst thing in my life right now? Well, let's get rid of that, let's get rid of that. In order to get rid of things, you need to stop people pleasing. But yeah, and so you can shift it up, and each time you will choose something better for yourself, it's going to feel uncomfortable, it's going to feel overwhelming at first. You would have felt this before. When you allow something good in your life, it can be overwhelming. It can get you too excited, it can be too much energy. And that same thing that fired you up and got you overexcited, in a few months' time, you'll get used to it and your bandwidth will have rise. If you keep on doing that, then your life will get better and better. You'll get happier and happier. And so I hope my YouTube channel does inspire you to do that. Let me know in the comments below, and have the best day ever.